Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have that pure form of mid-engine sports car. What is it? It's got to be this car right here. This is a Porsche Boxster, 718 Boxster. This one is a Boxster GTS. But before we get into this drop-top mid-engine Porsche, let's talk about what's going on here. So in 1996, Porsche shocked the world and at the Geneva Auto Show unveiled the Boxster. And there was a lot of great excitement about it because not only of it being a mid-engine sports car, whereas the 911 is a rear-engine sports car, but also kind of having a style to it that really goes back to the 550 Spider days of Porsche in the 1950s. Now, what's fascinating is at this time, Porsche wasn't doing so well as an auto manufacturer when it comes to profits. But during this time period, when they launched the Boxster being a more affordable vehicle compared to a 911, sales really spiked, and that's one of the reasons why the Porsche brand was saved. Now, of course, down the road, the Cayenne and the Macan in particular really saved the company from going into dire straits. But originally in 1996, when this was unveiled, first sold here in the United States in 1997, this was the car to really help Porsche out. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the king of mid-engine sports cars, is this the way to go over, say, the new C8 Stingray? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Chalk, that's the name of the color, Chalk 718 Boxster, and find out. Right off the bat, the body lines. As soon as you see it, you know it's a Porsche. And what's great is that if you go back to the early days of the Boxster, which they called that generation the 986, you still see the same overall shape. Now at the front of the business, I love the way they've done such a great job of a timeless design when it comes to everything, including the headlight housing. When you go GTS, everything is going to be blacked out on the housing. You'll also notice that we have the optional color matched headlamp washers as well. Normally, if you check the box off for a headlight washer or headlamp washer, they come in a chrome finish. This one has the body colored chalk finish on them, which is an additional option. We have our LED turn signals, and then you'll notice the massive opening for the heat exchangers that are lurking behind. And I think that's one of the things that I love about the Boxster, is that it has such a clean but aggressive design. And with this being the GTS, not only are you getting black accents, you're getting a naturally aspirated flat six, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But everything, of course, is full LED on the lighting up top, lighting for the turn signals. And then as we come across that low slung nose, you do have functionality in the center. They really blended in nicely the chalk color match splitter, and you'll notice the little extensions. And one of the things that I'm sure that you know about Porsche, and if you don't, I'm here to tell you that everything is here for a purpose. It's all about function, and then the form follows after it. Even the way they curve the nose. You look at a 911, you look at a Panamera, you even look at the big SUVs, the Cayenne and the Macan, you have that curve, or the Taycan. Now as we rise up, there's that Porsche crest, of course, Stuttgart, Germany, all that history, all in one badge. Very aerodynamically shaped, but like I said, it's such a clean style. Now as we come around the bend, on this GTS, you're gonna notice these classic style wheels. Machined aluminum with the flat black. We got our Brembo bright red 6-piston calipers, cross-drilled rotors that are 2-piece. That's gonna help cut down on unsprung weight and quicken up your steering. Plus we have, of course, PASM, which is the Porsche Adjustable Suspension Management System, which is gonna fine-tune all 4 corners of this car. Up front, when you're looking at tire size, basically with this vehicle, what you're gonna get is, first of all, you're getting Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, which are a great tire. Tire size up front, 235 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and that's a 20-inch wheel. Love the classic Porsche crest right on the center cap. Now, as we come down, of course, you fuel up at the front because the fuel tank is up front. You're gonna get your GTS 4.0 badge. That's not the GPA that you wish you had when you were in high school. I know we all wanted 4.0 GPAs. Guess what? I got a little secret. In high school, I was not the best student. I was an average student. I just did what I had to do to get by. That's really why I did it. 4.0 was something that I actually did not get, believe it or not. I didn't get straight A's until I went to college. So I think more I was doing it for myself in college rather than in high school. I was just being told that I had to go to school. But GTS 4.0 means we have that 4-liter flat 6 naturally aspirated. Working our way down, because it's the GTS, we do have black door handles. And then you'll notice the flat black on the air intakes. This is to bring cool air for that mid-mounted flat 6 engine. What that's gonna do is it's gonna help give us that perfect weight balance, but it also lowers our center of gravity because the engine is a flat cylinder opposed engine rather than, say, a V6, which is a taller engine. That taller engine lifts your center of gravity. As we kind of swing it around, I just want to show off the back. I like the rollover hoops. The one thing I wish this had was an actual body colored tonneau cover. Yes, we have that Bordeaux red top, which is definitely popping nicely with the chalk, but I would like a nice body colored tonneau cover. Let me know what you think about that. So I am going to zonk that, but I do like the classic double roll hoop. As we kind of drop down, I want to focus on the rear wheel. So you're still getting 20-inch wheels out back, 265 on the width. You can see the Brembo calipers at the back. Of course, you're getting an electronic limited slip diff. And then swinging around the tail side, because this is a GTS, you're going to see the blacked out taillight housing, full LED. We got our black rear spoiler. That's part of GTS. Of course, we're going to have the badge, the 718 Boxster chassis, GTS. And if you're wondering what is 718 referred to, it's the actual chassis spec. The one before this, the generation before this, was the 981. This is the latest and the last, because remember, the Boxster and the Cayman are both going full EV for 2025, which is freaking mind-blowing to me. Dropping it like it's hot. I love the rear diffuser area. You got that sport exhaust slash cut with the black tips, and it is an active exhaust, so you can let that flat 6 scream. Even the Porsche name on the GTS is blacked out. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop some of these compartments and see if we could find out anything about the engine in this Porsche. All right, guys, what's great about the Boxster, just like the hardtop, the Porsche Cayman, and just like also a car you can compare this to, the mighty C8 Corvette Stingray, is that you have usable space up front, usable space out back. So out back, you'll see the amount of cargo space. One of the things, of course, every 718 owner is you need this quick start 718 start guide. That's your guide while you're going to the restroom. You could read through this, but it's not about the book. Unfortunately, the zonk is I can't show you the engine. It's underneath here. This is where you have your oil fill, and this is where you have your coolant fill, but our engine is actually in the middle. And that's one of the things, even on the Cayman, that's always bummed me out, is you can't see the engine, but I could tell you about it. It's got a 4-liter flat 6 pumping out 394 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque. You could either get a 6-speed manual, or ours has the fast lightning shifting 7-speed PDK. 0 to 60 in about 3.3 seconds. Quarter mile in 11.7 seconds at 119 miles an hour. Top speed is 182 miles an hour. The car only weighs, even as a convertible, 3,254 pounds. MPGs, 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. And basically you're looking at about 6 cubic feet of space out back, which isn't a ton, but you definitely could put a carry-on and a duffel bag back here. Plus you have the storage up front. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's fire this thing up so we can hear that flat 6. right, guys, we are inside this 2023 Porsche 718 Boxster GTS. I really feel like it did take some time for the Boxster to get its street cred, but many people that I have talked to over the years that have either owned a Boxster or a Cayman say it's one of their favorite cars or the favorite car that they've ever had, and if they wind up selling it, they wind up missing it. So that should tell you something right off the bat. Now, even though this one's a 2023, it only has 611 miles on it, so somebody did not enjoy this besides looking at it in their garage. So what is the price? Porsche's interesting. So we could always talk about base MSRPs, but the average Porsche buyer usually specs in about $40,000 worth of options into their vehicle at the time of purchase. This one has an asking price of $110,000, but I think you're gonna find that things like the chalk, this being a GTS, and what I'm sitting in is gonna show you where some of that price goes. But let's see how it compares to the C8. To the door panels, this is where it lays the smack down on the Corvette. The stitching is perfect needlepoint. We have the Bordeaux red interior, some silver trim, which looks tasteful, no gloss black. And then if you see that little hole that's in the side of the door panel, that's actually a pocket that pulls out. So you could put easily 2 Bavarian German cream donuts in there, and up front, a couple bear claws. So they got you covered when it comes to your donut space. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, the stitching, the AC vents are great. One of the things I always thought was cool was how they engineered the cup holders. You actually open this, and then there's your 2 cup holders. Just so you know, if this was mine, we would not be drinking nor eating in this vehicle. That's just my rule, and it's the highway or my way. I do like the German Twinkie pocket down. That's for your Nürburgring Nordschleife Twinkie down there with the cargo net. And then you'll notice that you're gonna get the sport chrono clock because we have the sport package with this GTS, AC vents, and then you're gonna have a small but useful 7-inch infotainment system. This is all you need. I mean, it's very fast reacting. It's got all of the different things you want information-wise, and I don't need a big ginormous screen. You even have a CD player. So get out your Pearl Jam, get out your Beastie Boys, maybe even some Red Hot Chili Peppers. Slide that right in there. We got real knobs. You got your dual climate control for the passenger and the driver. We do have 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, so that's optional in this car. There's that PDK with the Bordeaux red leather, 7-speed, very fast transmission, 718 stamped in. This is for your PASM, your electronic suspension. This is where you could cruise around Rodeo Drive and pop up the rear spoiler, make the exhaust loud. Here's your switch gear for the convertible top, and we could shut that pesky auto start stop feature off. There's the key. I like the way it's shaped like a Porsche. You got a place to put a couple atomic fireballs, kind of reminds me of this interior. This opens up. You got enough room for an iPhone Gold Edition 47, iPhone 47, and a USB-A in there. And then the seats. This is the adaptive 18-way adjustable seats. I love the fine leather, the great bolstering. All your seat controls are down below on the side. Obviously, mine's electric assist. And even with the top up, you have plenty of room in here. Plenty of room when it comes to how tall you could be. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind this very special steering wheel in this Boxster GTS. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Before you just hop in, I want to show you that really well-engineered pocket for your donuts. You do have 2 memory seat settings, which are great. And then down below, you're going to get this nice aluminum sill plate with the Boxster GTS badge. Up top, you actually start the vehicle on the left side. That goes back to the early Le Mans 24-hour days and other endurance races so that you can start your car, get it into gear, and get your seatbelt on and roll off. Pedal box, speaking of race cars, love the dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. You can get aluminum pedals. This one just has aluminum around the outside, but you can get pure aluminum pedals. Sitting here, these 18-way adjustable seats are fantastic. I got plenty of room. Obviously, it's all about putting the top down, which we will. And then the steering wheel, you have the Bordeaux red leather. You got thumb drive controls. Look at the way they hollow out the steering wheel. You see this little knob here? This is when you go into your different modes. So there's Sport Plus, Sport, really nice. Makes it feel like a freaking race car. You even got Sport Response, which gives you extra boost for 20 seconds, extra power. And then you have that tachometer in there. Red lines at 7,800 RPM, tach in the center, all the information, flanking it with that digital gauge cluster on the right, and you could actually have a ton of information displayed in that digital round gauge cluster. But why don't we go ahead? I don't know. I think I'm going to skip. We're going to skip the front because you know what I want. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Porsche. All right, guys, we are inside this Porsche 718 Boxster GTS, that naturally aspirated flat six right over my shoulder here. Of course, we got to have the top down. That's required in this car. And if you're ready, I'm ready to do launch control. Real simple. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the throttle, then release the brake. Watch. Even a caveman could do it. On throttle! Wow! Wow, wow, wow! Love the sound of that engine. One of the best sounds ever. And remember, the way that Porsche has done the engine is they took the engine out of a 911, the 3-liter flat six, removed the turbos, and then bored it out to 4 liters. It's a different engine than what's in a GT4 RS or an RS Spider. That's not necessarily a bad thing because you got to look at price point. You know, you look at a GT4 RS Spider, you're looking at well over $200,000. So you're looking at more than $100,000 more than this car. This car really brings the balance of not only performance, but also of price. Having the top down, not a lot of buffeting inside, and this PDK will outshift the Tremec 8-speed in a C8 Stingray. It's just that good. Are you ready? I'm ready. On throttle! The sound. The car is so balanced, and that's what you get when you go mid-engine. But it's not just a simple like, oh, well, Joe, the Corvette is mid-engine as well. You are right, the Corvette is mid-engine. It weighs more, and it's a V8, so the center of gravity is actually higher, and besides it weighing more, it's a larger car. This thing, I feel like it's an isotoner glove just wrapped around my whole body, and I don't want to take it off. I just don't want to take it off. On throttle! Look at that, so smooth. Really does such a great job of being balanced. Downshifts are just as fast as the upshifts. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Woo! Look at this. Nice. So controllable, so wonderful. It just speaks to you. And I know maybe right now you're saying, well, Joe, my Tesla Model 3 Performance is just as fast 0 to 60 as this. I don't care. You can keep your freaking Tesla. Give me this sound every day. God, look how hooked up it is. The only thing that would make this better for me is if it was a manual, which you can get this with the 6-speed manual. But God, The color combo, I'm a fan of chalk. Even though I wouldn't spec it with the Bordeaux red, with the top down, it really just pops nicely. But the transmission, the PDK, when Porsche came out with this, they really revolutionized automatic transmissions. Here we go! So wonderful. God, I could do this all day long. Love how the instrumentation is set up. You got that large tachometer in the center, flanked by the other two gauges. The seats wrap around you nicely, but they're not gonna squeeze you like the carbon buckets, which you can option in this car. And the fact that you do have usable space. Now, yes, you can't get your golf clubs in this Porsche Boxster. It won't fit. But my question to you, like I always say, who in the hell is putting golf clubs in their C8 Stingray? Not me. I wouldn't be doing that. But I love this car. And I get it. Argue about the price. Argue about the performance. Argue about every damn thing you want when comparing this to a C8 Stingray. The one thing you can't argue is that it makes sense as soon as you get behind the wheel of the car. It's like the way you sit in it, the view out the windshield, the way the car is wrapped around you, and the fit and finish is freaking spectacular. One more time, we gotta do it. Launch control. On throttle! God! Love this car, look at this. She just wants more. She just wants more, you just give it to her. I love this car. This is what these types of cars are all about. Moving the soul, man. You're not just moving your body, you're moving your soul. And I love them. Absolutely love them. Putting the top back up, look how seamless that is. We gotta do it. We gotta get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. So I hope you got your fill of some Porsche on throttle. I definitely did. But we're gonna get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a nanosecond. Hi guys, been another hot day, but boy oh boy, was it one of those days you wanna be behind the wheel of a Porsche Boxster GTS. Definitely gotta thank Miro and the rest of the crew here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete, getting us access to this car. Let me know what you think. Is this the greatest mid-engine sports car ever made? Or is the C8 Stingray the way to go? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up, Stephen Flood. Nobody knows this except for me, but he just had some kind of bee or bug flying around his head while we're actually filming this outtake. So he stood firm like a strong piece of oak. So thank you, Stephen, for having your big wood. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.